This March 17th meeting of the Paducah Planning Commission to order, and I would invite you all to stand with us and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Summer, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Benberry?
Here.
Mr. Morrison?
Here.
Ms. Shramke? Mr. Shadle?
Here.
Mr. Wade?
Here.
Chair Crecilius?
Here. Mr. Wade, I believe you have the minutes motion for us, please.
Madam Chairman, I move that the reading of the minutes of the February 17, 2014 meeting be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the Secretary be approved as written. Second.
By Benberry and by Shadle, I believe, right? Yes. Do you have any comments, any changes? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Chair Crecilius?
Aye. Mr. Morrison, I believe you have the first item of business.
Yes, I do. I move that this commission receive and file the application of Western Kentucky Community Development Incorporated for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 3501 and 3511 Coleman Road. I further move that the requested approval be given contingent upon the surveyor and the City of Paducah Engineering Public Works Department reaching an agreement regarding the frontage distance along Coleman Road and the existence of an easement along the Paducah power line.
Second.
Second by Mr. Shadle.
This is a pretty simple waiver, 3 tracks, eliminating the interior property lines between them, combining into one contiguous parcel. The 2 issues are brought up by the addendum. There is a visible power line crossing the property that goes to the Paducah Power substation that's adjacent to the property. A search of the public records has not found an easement for that. Numerous calls to Paducah Power and their own research is yet to uncover that. Whether or not there is an easement there or not may be a statutory matter for a court of law. We have depicted on this plat that there is a power line and noted our client and any successors as to the potential for an easement to be centered or located around that property, around that power line. So that's the other issue, being the frontage along Coleman Road. In my opinion, the city's interests are ensured. The right-of-way plans for the relocation of Coleman Road were utilized to determine the 60-foot right-of-way width as shown here. The slight variance in distance and discrepancy that the Public Works Department has described, in a nutshell, is how that Coleman Road right-of-way line intersects with the right-of-way line of the railroad. And so, in my research, I've uncovered what I think is a discrepancy between the right-of-way width of the railroad and the right-of-way width shown when Coleman Road was relocated. Therefore, this dimension of 89.25 is slightly different from the construction plans on file in the Engineering and Public Works Department for relocated Coleman Road.
How much is slightly?
6 feet. If you can imagine that 89.25 by the construction plans on file at the, in Engineering Public Works, it would be 83.25. That distance does nothing to affect the city's interest. The city's right-of-way for Coleman Road is still the same, still 60 feet wide. The only thing that may or may not be altered is either the right-of-way width of the railroad, a private entity, and the property on this tract, again a private entity. But the city's interests remain unchanged as a 60-foot right-of-way width. I do have a meeting with Rick Murphy tomorrow. He was out of town today, so I couldn't meet him. I have a meeting scheduled with him tomorrow at 9. So I'll request this commission's approval contingent on my meeting with Rick tomorrow and us coming into agreement on this. I feel confident that we will, and then file it in the normal fashion.
Questions?
Does that require you to contact the railroad?
I have contacted Shane DeJarnett. I have done extensive research on this back to 1939, tracing these deeds. Feel pretty good about it. Again, I welcome the opportunity to sit down with Rick and look at what files he has as well. And this is not about me being right or wrong, or the city being right or wrong. We want to be correct. And based on the research that I've done, I've depicted the correct right-of-way width. Again, the right-of-way width we're talking about here is for the railroad, not the city's. Coleman Road right-of-way of 60 feet is not debated here.
Thank you.
If I could add just one slight thing is, Steve and I did meet with Mr. McBee this afternoon, and we feel that this can be resolved pretty simply with the meeting with Rick, so that's why we forwarded this motion this way, because we think it can be resolved pretty easily.
I do have one question concerning the right-of-way for the power lines.
Yes.
If in fact that needed to be established, will that affect, it probably won't affect the viability of this particular tract of land, will it?
That is, and I don't want to intend to practice law or speak law, and we're kind of towing a line here. Paducah Power System has their act together. They don't run big power lines without an easement. The fact that they can't put their hands on it right now, and that neither could I in my search of public records, I think they'll eventually find it, that there is an easement there. Even if there wasn't, there are some statutory measures that if this power line's been in place for so many years, it now has a legal right to be there. And so, and then lastly, the Paducah Power said, we can't find it, it's our screw up, we want to make it right, and we'd like to purchase an easement from you. And so there's several ways to remedy it, but none of those can I just snap my fingers and say, oh, now there's an easement, because the public record search didn't find one. But we did note that as such on the plat, and field located that power line and noted for our client as well as any successors and assigns in the future that this power line's here, and there very well may be an easement associated with it.
I feel the same way you do. I just want to make sure the plat is correct.
That's correct. Now, you're exactly right. Now then, well, I would like to get your signature if upon a favorable vote tonight. But if my phone rings at 8 o'clock tonight or first thing in the morning, where Rick Windhurst, we found it, I would be more than happy to print new ones, depict the easement and so forth. Again, that's information I'd like to show, but we just don't have it, so I can't. Okay.
Any more questions? Any more
John,
comments?
do you have the signature of the owner on that? On that one?
No, I waited on that because the last minute to see if I would be bringing up new information for the power purpose, but did not come to that. I held off on the signature. I will say that this plat, as presented to you, was also presented to Lisa Emmons and Mr. Goff. Which are both parties, and both reviewed it, and that's no comment. So it has been made public to their attorneys and clients as well.
Any more comments?
Problem is, before it gets recorded, you gotta have that signature on it. Sometimes those things get recorded, and then they've gotta go back and re-record. I was thinking one of our bylaws was that before we signed all the owner's certification has to be, you might be able to help me on this.
I feel a little uncomfortable signing it, especially if the owner hasn't signed it yet. I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you out, but I just want to make sure that everything's right.
Add to your addendum, conditionally approved pending presentation of a fully executed copy.
Sure.
I mean, we can go ahead and approve it today.
Sure,
but not
absolutely.
Sign it until you.
So then you would be given approval to do that, and I can track you down to your convenience.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Are there any other questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Benberry,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Mr. Benberry, you have the William and Gay Ingram.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of William and Gay Ingram for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 621, 627, and 631 Park Avenue. I further move that the requested approval be given and compliance with all other applicable provision of the Paducah subdivision ordinance be waived.
Second.
Second by Shadle.
Basically, we're just abolishing 3 interior lot lines. They are proposing to add on to that building there in the center that's closest to Park Avenue. And a site plan's been submitted to planning and engineering, but it's crossing that interior lot line. So at this time, we're getting rid of all the interior lot lines.
It's really not important, but I just wondered, are they planning on connecting any of the buildings with when they add on? Okay,
Not that I'm aware of.
okay, just wondered.
The addition goes to the west,
All right.
basically about 22 or 23 feet in the center of that front building.
Any other comments or questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Mr. Shadle, you have the Doherty.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Barry Doherty for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 1403 and 1407 South 4th Street and 1440 George Street. I further move that the requested approval be given in compliance with all other applicable provisions of the Paducah subdivision ordinance be waived.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wade and Mr. Morrison.
Here again, it's just abolishing a lot of interior lot lines.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Benberry,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. And Mr. Wade, I believe you have the Megan Davis application.
I move this commission receive and file the application of Megan Davis for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 102 and 116 South 7th Street and 628 Broadway. I move further that the requested approval be given in compliance with all other applicable provisions of the Paducah subdivision ordinance be waived.
Second.
Second by Morrison.
Basically, this is a fairly simple project. Ms. Davis has this piece of property on 7th and Broadway, and she has 2 existing buildings, and she is subdividing off the bottom side and selling off. And the only other thing we're doing, we're actually creating a small ingress easement there because there's an existing entranceway there. We don't want to, get into where they got to create a new entrance for that piece of property to get onto the parking area there.
Where that is. This is, that's Curtis Mays.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Benberry,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Is there any
One more thing I forgot. This is for my first time coming through with y'all on this. I do not have the owner's signatures on here, but can we still agree on get it approved? And I'll have to come back, like I said, once again, trace you down also to get signatures. I didn't know exactly how this procedure went, so.
Yeah, if you want to bring them back to me, Richard, I'll
Okay.
run them out to Ms. Cresilius.
Okay, if y'all don't mind, like I said, my first trip here.
All right.
Thank you.
And Todd, if you want to do the same thing, if you just want to bring them back to us downstairs,
Oh,
wait,
There
one
you
of us will run them out there.
No, Oh, it's all right. We appreciate you being here. If there's no other business, we stand adjourned.